On this week's show, Captain Marvel, Batman vs. Deathstroke, and the magnificent Miss Marvel. It's Previews World Weekly, and it's about to happen right now. What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
And I'm Thea, and we're here every week to remind you guys to stop at a comic shop and get involved in what's happening in the world of comics.
And we're going to just jump right into it.
Yep.
So it is New Comic Book Day, and Anna Mee is here. She's going to show you what's at comic shops, and when we come back, we'll show you some of our picks.
Hey Previews World, Mia here with a look at what's at comic shops this week. So let's jump on in. Is that it? No way. Your comic shop has something for every type of customer. So stop at a comic shop today, and I'll see you back here next week.
And that's just some of the titles available at your local comic shop this week. Anything in particular you're looking forward to?
There's a Gambit trade paperback that's out, and it's PREVIEWSworld.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's a collection of issues 1 through 12 of the Gambit from 2004,
Okay.
and then it has some X-Men Unlimited stuff in it. And it's basically following Remy LeBeau when he's not with the X-Men. So it's just sort of his little side stories and what he does on his own and the mischief he gets into inevitably, right?
Right, yeah.
But he was always one of my favorite X-Men, so it's cool to see this collection of stuff together.
Yeah. No, there's plenty of books with him and the team.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had a lot of miniseries, so I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
For me this week, actually going to take it back since we're talking about characters from back in the day. Max, 100-page giant, the Max 100-page giant.
Cool.
So you remember this show on MTV when it was like in the 90s? You don't remember this? Really? Wow.
I didn't watch a lot of MTV, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it was basically like this really kooky story about this behemoth who lives in the outback. And actually, truthfully, it never quite made sense, at least from the TV show, but that's kind of one of the reasons I actually feel like I need to pick up the 100-page giant and sort of reacclimate myself to like this character, because the series was kind of supernatural, kind of gritty, very elusive in terms of what the overall plot was. Like it was meant to be kind of like a bit of a mind, right? But that was the cool thing about it, and then like it always looked great. It was Sam Keith, and his artwork was always like just like dynamic and interesting, and that really did kind of anchor the series. And it just so happens that IDW is putting out this 100-page giant, and I figure, I might as well delve into it. Like I've read issues here and there of it, but it never quite made sense, and I'm not sure if it will make sense still if I read it straight through.
Right.
But I've always intended to read it, so here's a good time to do exactly that.
For sure.
What about you?
So we also have a Spider-Gwen book out.
Yeah.
It's Ghost Spider.
Yeah.
We're on number 6 right now. And it's basically after the life-changing events of Spider-Geddon, Gwen Stacy of Earth 65 has resolved to stay on her home turf and resume her normally scheduled superheroics as Ghost Spider. Yeah. So solid character. And I never really followed Gwen Stacy at all, but I'm not gonna lie, because of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, all right.
I was like, okay, maybe I can get down with this character a little bit, so I've been looking at her a little more.
I've never read the Spider-Gwen comic necessarily, but I actually ended up talking to a coworker who explained the plot to me. Yeah. And I was like, that's actually really cool. Yeah. Like, that's actually a really good book. So I definitely recommend it. If you want to, I'll score you a copy if you want,
Lay it on me.
Also out this week, I got a point is Deathstroke versus Batman, of course from DC Comics. It's Christopher Priest, who wrote probably one of the most well-known, most well-liked runs of Black Panther, and he's bringing that style to this particular story. Cool. It's an interesting pairing. It's Batman and Deathstroke. They're like both of these characters are characters who have contingencies on top of contingencies, and to see them kind of duke it out is really interesting.
Sure.
Adding Christopher Priest to the mix makes me even more curiouser about it. Curiouser about it.
Curiouser and curiouser.
So and it was something that was released. this is a trade paperback. So it was something that was released like a few months ago. I never got a chance to really come around and read it. Always intended to. Now's a good time. So
Yeah, get everything in one bundle.
What else can people look forward
We
to
also
this week?
have the Magnificent Ms. Marvel #1.
Yeah.
So Ms. Marvel is back, and it's an all-new ongoing series from writer Saladin Ahmed. And it's not business as usual in Jersey City. Aliens are wreaking havoc in Kamala's corner of the world, and they seem weirdly interested in Ms. Marvel and her family.
Okay. Nice.
The art looks really interesting to me.
I actually love that
art.
cover, yeah.
It, for some reason, makes me think of the Gorillas a little bit.
Yeah, it's got a little Jamie Hewlett to it,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yeah, I actually like that, yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe something, my brain was kind of registering that too, and I was like, I like that cover, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, it's like, in motion for sure. Also out this week, you should check out the Batman Who Laughs Grim Knight. Now, this isn't the regular Batman Who Laughs book that has been coming out for like the last couple of months. This is like a spin-off.
Yep.
And if you've been following that series, you've been following Dark Knight Metal. This comes to us courtesy of James Tynion and Scott Snyder, so it's, you're going to fit right into it. On top of that, it's Eduardo Rizzo, Rizzo, I should say. Actually, I'm not sure. Rizzo. I've been following him since 100 Bullets. I've always loved him as an artist. But like, you're going to get great art. And he always does these cool things where like, there's always something in the background happening in addition to the foreground.
Oh,
so
cool.
you're kind of getting multiple stories in certain panels. And hopefully he does that here. So check that out.
Yeah.
From there, we got the news. We're going to talk about what's been going on in the world of comics for the last 7 days. So check this out.
To mark the 80th anniversary of Batman, which falls on March 30th, DC has unveiled plans for a global commemoration of the world's greatest detective. Kicking off this month at South by Southwest, the multifaceted campaign for DC's Caped Crusader will feature exclusive celebrations, special theatrical engagements, the milestone release of Detective Comics issue 1000, live events, and first ever Batman brand partnerships. As fans join together under the campaign's tagline of #LongLiveTheBat, DC's timeless character will be honored through Batman Day on September 21st, when the bat signal lights up in major cities worldwide. To see the myriad of ways that you can read Batman, experience Batman, watch Batman, and join Batman on this momentous occasion, head over to the Previews World website for the full article and details. Next up, Brian K. Vaughan, the acclaimed comic book writer behind Saga, Paper Girls, Why the Last Man, and many more titles, has been tapped by Legendary Entertainment to write the screenplay for the first live-action movie based on Gundam, the popular anime and science fiction media franchise. April 2019 will be the 40th anniversary of the anime series Mobile Suit Gundam that launched the property. Vaughn's screenplay will be his first foray into film, though he has written scripts for Marvel's Runaways and Lost. No release date has been announced yet for the live-action Gundam movie, so keep an eye on our social media for updates. DC co-publisher Dan DiDio told DC Daily that a new Green Arrow title will be coming soon following the current title's end with Green Arrow number 50. The new title will make the character a larger part of the DC universe, said DiDio. Every once in a while, you need to do a reset, he told DC Daily. You saw that with Green Lanterns to The Green Lantern with Grant Morrison, so I feel that with Green Arrow, we wanted to take a moment to reset and make him part of the bigger DCU again, then spin him out. No creative team or release date has been announced for the new title. However, in the meantime, Green Arrow number 50 is available at comic shops, so go check it out. Finally, Netflix has announced that it will adopt Nidhi Chanani's highly acclaimed best-selling graphic novel Pashmina into an original CG animated musical with celebrated writer-director Gurinder Chadha, internationally renowned decorated producer Ashok Amitraj, and Chadha's long-standing writing partner Paul Maeda Burgess. Pashmina is a fantasy and adventure story that follows Priyanka, a first-generation American of Indian descent, as she explores her family history with the help of a magical Pashmina. Pashmina joins the growing slate of Netflix original animated event programming, feature films and series that reflect diverse perspectives and cultures in a variety of styles and formats, that is designed for families around the world. To catch up on the story, go grab a copy of the graphic novel Pashmina in comic shops now.
Yeah, cool. And of course, if you're looking for more news, if you need all the up-to-date stuff, then check out previewsworld.com/latest news, and we're constantly updating it all day, painstakingly. We're going out of our way to make sure that it's updated. So, and on that note, Natasha's here like she is every week, and she's going to show us some of the stuff available inside the Previews toy chest.
Hey Previews World, Natasha here to give you a look inside the Previews toy chest. Let's find out what's at comic shops for the week of March 13th, 2019. Be sure to check with your local comic shop for availability. And to see more, head over to PREVIEWSworld.com/talkingtoys to see our new show, Talking Toys. There you'll feast your eyes on more hot new collectibles.
Thanks, Natasha. And of course, that's only a little bit of what's coming out this week. If you want to see the full list of items, head on over to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases. Just like our comics, all the stuff's going to be right there. Yeah. So there's that really cool Catwoman Nendoroid that I was looking at. And it reminded me that I actually just watched the Batman Ninja.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how was it?
It's surprisingly good. I was not expecting it to be as good as it is. It's very self-aware. It does a lot of tongue-in-cheek towards Japanese anime. Okay. And the storyline's actually pretty solid.
Yeah. It kind of came and went. I kind of forgot about it. But like, yeah, the animation like floored me. Like instantly. It was just sort of like I think there was a Batman movie called Gotham Knights, I want to say, that was done by different anime animators, like, you know, and it was really cool to see them do that again, because he's just one of those characters, like, you kind of want to see that with him, so that's cool. Yeah, I actually have been meaning to watch that, so awesome.
Solid.
Well, you know, we of course have tons of other stuff coming to your local comic shop every week. One of them is a book called Battle Cats Volume 2. Volume 1's available right now. Check out the trailer, Battle Cats Volume 2 from Mad Cave Studios, and we'll talk about it when we come back. And that is Battle Cats Volume 2 from Mad Cave Studios. Their slogan is comics with a mad twist. And that's coming out in May. It's May 29th, actually. So be sure to keep a lookout for that and look out for the pre-order information and previews catalog, the upcoming previews catalog. So.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I think, was it Johnny mentioned, it looks like Dungeons & Dragons meets Thundercats.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It's definitely got an epic feel to it.
Right. So if you're into either one of those things, it's perfect for you. And now we're going to do something different. Normally we do Social Swamp every week, but we had an opportunity to kind of put people on to Captain Marvel. Because, like, you know, the movie just came out this past week, and on top of that, there's been a lot of back and forth about the origins of the character. Right. She's had a lot of stop and goes, like during the course of her superhero career. So Gretchen is here, and she's going to outline the books that you should read to get you all caught up on the world of Carol Danvers. Check this out.
Hey Previews World, Gretchen here, and I'm going to tell you about Captain Marvel. Who is Captain Marvel? Well, the answer's complicated. So complicated, in fact, that we'll discuss the many heroes named Captain Marvel in another video. However, who is Carol Danvers is a lot easier to answer. Let's go higher, further, and faster with these 5 trade paperbacks featuring Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel, Epic Collection, This Woman, This Warrior. NASA Security Chief Carol Danvers' life had been long intertwined with the alien Kree and their Earthbound soldier, Mar-Vell, and soon she gained incredible powers of her own. Now, as Miss Marvel, Carol faces down threats and fights alongside Spider-Man in battle with the Super Skrull. Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, The Miss Marvel Years. This one spans 2 of Marvel's biggest events, House of M and Civil War. In the House of M universe, Carol Danvers glimpsed the full potential of her life. Now, with renewed focus, she embarks on a bid to become the best she can be. Then, a superhero civil war erupts, begging the question, whose side will Carol be on? Captain America's or Iron Man's? Captain Marvel, Earth's mightiest hero. Carol Danvers has a new code name, Captain Marvel, and she is determined to prove she's the best of the best. Carol's forging a new future for herself, and you can get to witness her in blazing battlefield action. The life of Captain Marvel. You can't outrun where you're from, and sometimes you have to go home again. While Carol takes a temporary leave from duty to unravel her past, trouble comes looking for her. A weapon has been unleashed, and Carol's sleepy coastal town is about to become the center of its world. But there are skeletons in Captain Marvel's closet, and what she discovers will change her entire life. Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. Here's a bonus for you. Before Carol Danvers took the name Captain Marvel, the mantle was held by Monica Rambeau, a police lieutenant with the power to transform into energy. Now, witness Monica's debut, her earliest encounters with Spider-Man, her team up with Thanos' brother, and her rise in the ranks to field leader of the Avengers. Looking for more adventures featuring Captain Marvel? Be sure to visit your local comic shop for continuing adventures, spacefaring action, cosmic odysseys, and more.
And thanks, Gretchen. And I want to point out that like we have another Captain Marvel video coming out because there's another Captain Marvel who happens to have a movie coming up. And so we're going to do a little bit of an homage. I won't give away much more than that, but keep an eye out for that. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I just want to point out a little fun fact. I found out while I was putting this together, and I didn't know this, that the reason Carol Danvers, of course, was originally, she was introduced as Carol Danvers and then she was introduced as Ms. Marvel. Well, the reason she was introduced as Ms. Marvel is because it was based off Ms. Magazine. So, you know, I know a lot of people have been saying like, you know, oh, the character's become very feminist in the last couple, but she's been that way for a very long time.
Yes.
Like her, you know, I won't say since her inception, but since the moment she became a superhero early on. So I just thought that was a really cool, interesting, fun fact.
I like that.
Pride myself on being a Marvel wonk, and I didn't know that. So I thought that was actually really neat.
There you go.
So
The more you know.
The more you know. So we're gonna give away the trays that Gretchen talked about.
Yes.
So how can people win?
Yeah, so if you guys want to win a bundle of those trays that you were just looking at, you should let us know on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching us. Gretchen told us what Carol Danvers' job title at NASA is. What is it? Give us the answer, we could pick one of you guys, and you could win this bundle.
Yeah, and like, you know, you got to watch the video.
That's true.
So like, you know, go back and check it out. The answer's right there. And we'll send you...
Open book test, guys.
Open book test, right, yeah, I know, right? The best kind. And like, yeah, we'll send you 5 of the trays that she talked about in the video. And that's almost it for us.
Yep.
But as always, we do our comic shop shout out.
Absolutely. As usual, we want to know what your favorite local comic shop is. Comment on whatever social media you can find us. Use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. Let us know what your favorite local comic shop is, and we could shout you out on the next show. This week, we're featuring Gutter Pop Comics in Buffalo, New York, which is coincidentally where my dad's from.
Oh, okay, nice.
And this was sent to us by Lament on Twitter. So we'll leave you guys with some images of that place as we're cutting out the credits.
Yeah, I actually like the interiors of this place. It's actually kind of neat
Yeah,
looking. So,
very cool.
Yeah. So that's it for us this week. This has been Previews World Weekly. I am Troy Jeffrey Allen.
And I'm Thea, and we'll see you at the spinner rack.
Thanks for watching Previews World Weekly. If you like the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes.